We are recording. So do you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay. Guess what? It was great. No joke, Lori. I look at yours every time and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do.
I feel like mine went on a little long.
It was, yeah, you could probably pare it down a little bit, but it was good material. Like the research, I felt like the research perfectly lined up with your checklist. It was like almost verbatim lined up. So, it worked in that aspect. So you could say that your literature review drove what you created in your checklist.
It didn't until Todd got a hold of it.
What'd she say about it?
Well, I hadn't done it correctly. My checklist didn't have anything to do with my research. I totally screwed that up. So I had to go back and add in more.
Oh, that's why, because I just read it tonight. So I must have read your updated one.
You did.
Okay. Because I was like, man, it looks great.
No, that's not the one I turned into Todd.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because she had said it was not what it was supposed to be, and so that's why it ended up being so long. Is because I had to go back and find more research and put it in, and then make the checklist work with it.
Well, I think now it's ready to roll.
Okay.
It looked good. I thought I could pinpoint. I could look at your checklist and say, okay, she got this from there. It flowed perfectly in my.
Okay, good. Because that's what Todd had said I had done wrong. So thank you.
Okay, well, I think you probably fixed that well.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Can I interject just a few things for Lori?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lori, on page 7, your quote at the top, just double check because it's 2 different shadings, and I don't want her to feel like it was a cut and paste. It's the second line. It starts the second line.
Okay.
And then under recruitment, placement, and mentoring of staff, you introduce the article from Education Week, but then you don't finish the citation with a page number or the year. So just double check the citation.
Oh, I didn't put the year in there?
No.
Oh, it's up in the very first paragraph. It's up in the first sentence.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I probably need to put it in there again, you think?
You may not need to, but she may have, because of the way it's presented in that paragraph. I really thought it was a different piece.
So would it go after the word, after Education Week, and then put in parentheses 2018?
Yeah. Let me double check with the APA. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I don't know if it would come after Education Week or after the title. So let me double check.
Oh, I can look it up. That's okay.
And then the only other thing that I saw was still on page 7, in the last paragraph. I know she said something to me about using contractions. So the second sentence, you have weren't instead of were not. And that's all I really have as far as changes.
Okay, thank you.
One question, but I can just put that in the feedback that I give you. But that came from page 8, the last paragraph, where you say experienced teachers produce higher rates of student achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that from a source, or were those your thoughts? And if so, then
I got it from a source.
Okay.
So I need to put that in there?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was it. Everything else was perfect.
Thank you. I will put that in there. Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Do you want me to do Tracy now? Or are you going ahead?
I can do Candace. It doesn't matter if you want to go ahead, because I do Candace. So.
Okay. I'm just going to go through this because I posted it, but it was really late, Tracy, so you probably haven't read it. I just said very good content, great sources, everything was clear of all the 5 parts. You had 9 sources, which was a great strength. I said, I think in the checklist, you're going to eventually have to have a place where you survey or observe the staff. So I said, you might want to have a place where you put that, are able to put the information. I did an annotated bibliography, but I didn't post it because I wasn't sure if we had to have it. But now it looks like on every part of the rubric that we have to have a bibliography. So I'll go back and put mine also because I did one. But I put that in there for you. And I liked how you tied it back to the PLC. And then I had just a few little mechanics, but I'll put that in the, it was just a couple little things.
Okay.
And I think your resources need to be double spaced.
Okay.
But I know you were having it said on the thing you were having some formatting issues, so that probably was because of that. So there was just a few little things. So just look under mechanics and grammar. But
Okay.
it was really good.
Well, thank you. And that was what I had said. I wrote the annotated bib too, but I didn't put it in there because do we put it with the literature review? Do we put it as an appendix? What?
I know.
I put mine as appendix, but Candace, you put yours in there, didn't you?
I did, but Dr. Todd told me that we did not have to have it, that it was fine if we didn't annotate a bibliography, and she was not sure where it needed to be yet, and she would let us know. So,
Well, I did one. I've got to go back and check that my annotated bibliography and my sources match.
right.
Because I started doing the annotated bibliography first, and then I went back and found some sources. So I don't think I've included all them in the.
I
in
would
the
say
annotated.
if you did it, I'd attach it because it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, but do I have to have the same? Do I have to have all of them in there?
I don't know that you.
What do you mean all of them?
All of my, like, I started out doing annotated bibliography and I had like 12 sources. Since then, I found more sources. Do I need to go back and add those to the bibliography?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't posted it yet.
Because that's
So
what
I
I
just
had to
need to
do. When I
add
had to go
those.
get extras to beef up my checklist, I had to put that, since I'd already started as an annotated bibliography, I had to go back and do all of
It says
those.
we have 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right, let me finish Sally then. I put the need your bib. You did a good job with your school profile and your classroom checklist. I thought was easy to follow. You could walk in and see. I had one question about paragraph 2 under efficacy.
Okay.
To me, it looks like it needs indenting, but I couldn't tell if it was supposed to flow off of those bullet points or did it
Okay.
need indenting. And
I'll
some
check
of
it.
your headings are bolded and some of them are not.
Well, I didn't even edit it. I was so done. I just submitted it, and that's what I texted y'all and said, I'm sure that. Do they need to be bolded? I think subheadings do,
I
right?
think headings are supposed to, I think subheadings are supposed to be
They
bold.
are.
Okay, I'll go back and fix that. Thank you.
Is that everything for her?
Yes.
Okay. Candace, I did yours. And I have a bunch of comments in there from our meeting last night with Dr. Tillman.
Right. Okay.
Because I had to completely rework mine after
Okay.
talking to Dr. Tillman.
And she hasn't looked at mine yet, so.
Okay. Well, and I haven't submitted to her, but just from what she was saying last night, I
Okay.
felt like that I needed to change the order of mine, and I had to do a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So what I did was I just put in there because you had done a lot of the same things I had done.
Okay.
So I just went ahead and put just some comments in there about what
Okay.
Dr. Tillman had said.
Great.
And then the other thing was I love your checklist. I think it's really good, but it's not supported by your research.
Right.
So, and that's what Dr. Todd got me on. So that's
Okay.
I just said you needed to go back and out of that research that you had, go back and
Right.
so that you can say this is where this came from.
Okay.
Okay. And then there were a few little grammar things, but I'll give you those when
Okay.
I've already posted it on the Google class.
Okay.
On Google, so you can just download it or look at it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Okay.
But you did a great job on the research supporting the 5 areas.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
it was very clear that the research you had went with those 5 areas. It's just you're going to have to do something to make it go with the checklist.
Right. Okay.
And Candace, the only thing that I will add to what Lori has already told you is that I had a question about the annotated bibliography, if it was supposed to be in the appendix or attached the way that you had it. And I'm assuming that you didn't include a reference page because the annotated bibliography was right there.
Right.
But I believe that you're still going to have to do a reference page.
Okay.
And then the only other thing, and this is just a technical thing with your running head, it's not supposed to be over 50 characters. So you
Okay.
may need to just put AAPTEL
Okay.
instead of spelling it out. Because if you notice when you get to page 10 and 11,
It's too
because
long.
it's
Yeah.
too long, it goes to another line.
One other thing, Candace, is I think on the annotated bibliography, you're not really supposed to have indented paragraphs. I think all of it's supposed to be indented.
Okay.
So you need to just go ahead and indent the other lines up underneath where you indented the first
Okay.
paragraph.
Okay.
You indent but not the reference, not the actual citing, right?
You do the citation, it's the first line's not indented.
Not,
and
and then it is. And then the
then your
whole
annotation is all supposed to be indented underneath that.
The whole thing
You
is.
don't actually
Okay.
write them as paragraphs. Like if you're starting a new paragraph, you just kind of hit enter and do another one. But the example that they had in the APA book had everything indented.
Okay.
So I think that's the way you're supposed to do it.
And that's the way I did it for the APSL.
Yeah, and that's the way I did it for the APSL.
And she just said make sure you keep it to 150 words. She said keep it very minimum to your bibliography.
Yeah,
Well,
not longer than that on some of them, but.
well, I'm going to tell you, I better not while we're recording.
Okay.
I know that Dr. Lamb had said that you could take it straight from the abstract.
Oh.
But I doubt Dr. Tillman will allow that.
Well, I did it for my annotated bibliography for my APSL.
Oh, did you? Oh. Good to
Now
know.
she's got her grade back.
Okay.
I've gotten my grade back and my plagiarism report, and I'm good. So I'm just trying. Dr. Lamb's words were, "Don't recreate the wheel." Just saying. Sorry,
Well,
Dr. Tillman.
that's awesome to know.
That
That's
is
awesome.
good information.
Well, I'm just trying to help because
That's good.
sometimes that stuff there's only so many ways you can say it.
Yes.
And you
That
know,
is true.
you don't know how many times I've given my husband something and said, "Could you reword this?" Because you just get to where I can't reword it anymore.
I keep thesaurus.com up on the window at all times.
Maybe that's what I
Trying
need
to
to do.
find another word to say the same thing I've been saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, and Tracy, I'm almost finished with yours.
Okay.
And I'm getting ready I'll post it as soon as we get off of here. And if you have any questions.
And Candace, I haven't started yours. I just had time to do one before tonight, but I'll have it done by tomorrow.
Okay. No problem.
All right. And Barbara, whenever you post yours, I'll go ahead and do your peer review and send them to you.
Barbara, do you mind just texting us when you post it so I know when to go?
The rough is in there, but like I said, I'm editing like right now while we're talking, so it'll be.
Well, I'm happy to wait. It's not that I'm in a hurry. As long as it's done by the end of the semester. I mean, it's fine. I was just letting you know that I'll be happy to do it for you whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
So, or when do we, Lori, you just keep us on track with the case study. I read it just in case we did it, but I don't care. I just didn't want, it was actually kind of about what we've been doing in task 1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Candace, did you ever hear back from Dr. Todd about?
I did not, but when I was in Blackboard earlier, I looked at where we're supposed to submit the video for this Zoom video, and it said it said AAPTEL Task 1 Zoom conference.
Okay.
So that was all that was listed there. So I'm assuming
Okay.
that's all she wanted.
So you'll submit that and put all our names?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now we've got 2 minutes left. Does anybody have a question or concerns about task 2?
What kind of survey are y'all making?
You mean
For
like
your,
where are we going to post? Like what are we going to use?
yeah.
Survey Monkey.
I guess Tillman wants us to use SurveyMonkey. She's the one that she keeps saying that. I was going to use just a Google form.
I was
But-
going to use a Google form too, but since I kept seeing where she's saying that,
I signed up for Survey Monkey, and I'm gonna just do that. But don't we just do our checklist in that?
Pretty much, I think.
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah, that was my
I
understanding.
mean, you may have to get a little bit more specific so
Yeah,
that they understand what you're talking about. But
yeah.
I pretty much got the impression that you just take your checklist and put it in the.
Well, the examples I've seen have a percentage place back by that checklist.
And that would be the people that I guess responded in certain ways to it.
So that's why I was telling Tracy she's gonna need to add a little column so she can go back in and put yes or no or whatever. Those were the examples I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that on when I actually make my form for my walkthrough and my form for my survey. I just didn't do it for the checklist.
Okay.
And I am only halfway through Tillman's class from last night because I was listening to it at work today. Did she say anything in regards to if our schools already have walkthrough forms, can we use that? I know there was a little discussion about that the previous week about, not using the same one. They wanted us to create our own because it was going to make the plagiarism rate higher, and not knowing if Dr. Lamb was going to make allowances for that.
Well, I think if you put it, the source